you're enabling these people to get away with stuff that is actually not compatible with Western society, culture, rules, laws. And the problem with that is people are getting affected, people are getting harmed in those sort of environments,
Yeah.
you know. I'm sure people can make the opposite argument. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's perfect.
No, well, I imagine it would be incredibly complex,
Yeah.
right, managing that. And I
Yeah.
think,
But if people are coming into New Zealand, like, when I came into New Zealand, I made a huge effort to be compatible.
yeah,
The language and the friendships and the work and this and that, like you really integrate and you accept that New Zealand identity in some level
yeah,
organically.
Yep.
You find your feet, you find friends and blah, blah. But a lot of people don't. They still speak their native language. They hang out with the same people. And so if you do more of that and have less kids, less Kiwi kids, and
Yeah.
you do more of that, eventually you might as well just change the name.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it gets pretty tricky.
yeah. And it's, I guess it's the modern world, right? People travel and they've got opportunity to shift
Yeah.
to different countries and new countries. And yeah, I mean, I haven't traveled a lot. So, New Zealand's pretty much the only place I've ever lived, and I've barely even been overseas. And so I haven't had much exposure to other cultures other than what's happening here in New Zealand, And I guess I'm pretty insular as well. Just living around Taranaki, like haven't really
It's
gone
nice
many
to
places.
be insular,
Yeah.
It's
when
really
you've got
nice.
your friends and family and you're familiar
Shield
with the
yourself
place.
from the nonsense.
A little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with how all of the stuff that's going on in the world that become the theme of your song, I guess, going back to that, and how people kind of get sucked into understanding and making these ideas their ideas,
Yeah.
as reality.
Yeah.
And are you familiar with Gard Saad?
No.
He's an evolutionary psychologist, and he looks a lot into consumer behavior,
Yeah.
and he teaches a lot of that. He wrote a book called The Parasitic Mind, and he talks about how ideas are parasites.
Yeah.
They look amazing, but they're designed to be parasites to get into your mind and become real, and then you're controlled, and your behaviors and your votes are controlled through that idea.
Yeah.
Right? And so that book to me was quite a big awakening as to trying to understand what ideas are real, what are tested scientifically, physically. If you look something that Elon Musk is doing and he's flying a rocket, you can actually test that idea by seeing the rocket take off, land, and you go, okay, your idea sounds exciting, but it's actually real as well because I can see the proof.
Yeah.
And he comes up with these really cool ideas on how to protect your mind from these parasitic ideas. Now he's doing another book called Suicidal Empathy. It's like there's a fine line as to where empathy becomes suicidal.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out what that line is, whether it's educating kids or whether it's ideas, whether it's politics, whether it's music or whatever you're doing. And I think that's a very powerful concept for a lot of these people, going back to, the reaction to Pauline Hanson, for example. It's like, oh, suspended for 7 days and you're offending all these people. It's like, well, in free democracy, you can offend people.
Yeah.
That's your right. And it's okay to be offended because that's, you need to learn to regulate your emotion when you are... a good measure of free speech is I tell something about you that you don't like and you're okay with it.
Yeah,
you can shield yourself from it.
Yeah, well, the danger of not doing that is that everyone falls into line around the same concepts without testing any of it, without pushing back a wee bit to see if it actually is robust and works,
Yeah.
Like I like John Lennon's take on it. Well, the revolution has to happen in your head. Like it's not going to happen anywhere else that's going to be effective. If you have a revolution, the regime that's removed will just be replaced with another one, really. And you might agree with the new one or you might agree with the old one, but the revolution has to happen in your head. And I think in the information age, one of the strongest things you can do is just tune out, decide what you want to have in your daily life and what you want to have occupying your mind and in your own day, and tune everything else out. Otherwise you end up not focused on the now. You're
Yeah.
ending up on big issues that are happening somewhere else
Mm.
that don't even really have a massive impact on you. They may do through global economics and things like
Yeah.
that. But I think that's a
Yeah.
strong one.
I feel the best way that anyone can tune out is writing
Yeah, yeah,
and is chatting.
yeah. And
You
anything
know?
creative.
Yeah.
I think if you're instead of
Music.
consuming, because like for me, it boils down to creation or destruction, right? And consuming is a form of destruction when you think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're creating, your energies are totally shifted into another place, and you're making something, and that might just be for your own pleasure or your own, hobby, filling in time, but it's
Yeah.
still a really constructive way to do things.
Mm.
And it's like being in a drum circle. I don't do a lot of meditation or anything, but I did go along to a drum circle one day and then started getting into it. And I realized for about 10 minutes, I wasn't thinking about anything else except playing my drum in time with the rest of the circle. And it
Yeah.
was like a form of meditation because
Yeah.
my brain stopped working for a bit, and it was great. you
Yeah.
know. So it's learning how to tune out the stuff that isn't good for you.
Yeah.
But creativity is a good one, I think.
Yeah. And deleting Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I've been through all that. I'm on Facebook quite a bit for the band,
Yeah.
but I did a little experiment actually for about a month. I was engaging with other pages, and a lot of the comments I was making were pretty tongue in cheek and a bit satirical and taking
Yeah.
the piss a wee bit,
Yeah.
And that's when I experienced the fact that you can't get people on board. Like you might get some people on side, but the majority of people will still be anti what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so went back to just posting our content, and just if we've got some new content, we put that out. And it's rather than react to someone else's post and things like that, because I think that's how those whole social platforms operate.
Yeah.
They just want a knee-jerk reaction from you.
Yeah. 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 And on Twitter, they incentivize you to reply.
Right.
And you get more impressions, and then you get paid by just replying. You don't even have to create.
Yeah.
You can just reply.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you get a lot of response. And that sort of is such an interesting experiment of its own. How, if you want to understand behaviors, you got to look at incentives.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
And you get a lot of answers very
Yeah.
quickly.
Well, you also see, like I said all the time, like followed the odd page, on Facebook, and it starts out it's about bands or it's about covers bands or something like that, and then just slowly watching the content drift away from their original purpose to just the same muck that everyone else is pushing out, because clearly it gets a good response with the algorithms or gets a good response from people.
Yeah.
And so they slowly move away from what they started being to just more of what everyone else is doing, and I think that's, again, it's probably because it's monetized and they're making more money by posting these things that aren't to do with their original concept of what they were trying to do.
Yeah, my Twitter page is all of my original content, my podcast and my satire content. And it still gets less views than people who just post other people's content.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this doesn't make any sense.
No, I guess it's the machine.
Yeah.
It's just, it feeds in on itself again and again. And so, I just try and post what we're up to. Occasionally I'll put a social or political comment in there, but it's pretty watered down, because it's not aimed to try and fire people up or get a real response. It's usually just an observation. And then I usually do a slightly comical or, humorous attempt at highlighting the issue without picking sides, kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you are you aware of the Chimp Chronicles?
That rings a bell. I haven't.
It's my satire site.
Oh, okay.
That's where I do a lot of my satire for current affairs.
Right.
So www.chimpchronicles.com.
Okay.
So you can read that if you're into satire.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
I think you might have mentioned it at the last podcast that we did.
Yeah. So that's where I do a little bit of Kiwi stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of politics. Politics is the one that gets a lot of attention.
I bet.
That's just how the algorithm is. So we have to do politics.
Yeah.
But we do lots of other stuff as well.
Yeah, that's
Chimp
cool.
Chronicles. It's satire is fun. It's
Yeah.
very healing. It's a nice way to engage with the craziness, because you're not getting involved in the whole intense. This is my view,
Yeah.
You're just taking the piss.
Yeah, and you
know?
can still raise relevant issues that way.
Yeah.
But it deflects, because it is a slightly humorous or satirical spin on things. it deflects a lot of the intensity, I think,
Yeah.
that might be coming at you otherwise.
And I think comedy has got to a point where it is the only thing in the world that is the closest to the truth.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, I feel like comedy is the only thing that we have left. I'm not that music might be the another one, but I'm not an expert into music, so I can't analyze it that way. But for me, with comedy, even podcasts are getting diluted now.